Hello and a warm welcome to all. I'm Ruth Nelson, founder of GoKids Youth Sports ChatBOX, and I'm excited to be your host for our monthly In the Know series, where we spotlight game changers, thought leaders, and rising stars making a difference in youth sports and beyond. Joining me as co-host for this special episode is David Delosier, now back in Big D. He's currently coaching at Prestonwood Christian Academy in Plano, Texas, and has recently joined the coaching staff at Skyline Junior Volleyball Club. David was part of our very first class of certified GoKids Youth Sports Skills Trainers, and we're thrilled to have him back with us for this exciting conversation. So tonight, we spotlight an outstanding coach known for building programs from ground up and setting performance records at institutions like Westcliff University. He has consistently emphasized culture, fundamentals, analytics to drive success. Whether coaching men's or women's teams, his adaptive leadership and data-driven mindset have helped athletes achieve remarkable growth, even advancing multiple club levels in a single year. Now, at Spire Academy, he brings his vision to life on a global stage. He's dedicated to cultivating a world-class volleyball program grounded in discipline, personal growth, and long-term athletic development. As an AVCA top 30 under 30 coach, Cole is dedicated to mentoring the next generation of coaches and athletes, striking a balance between ambitious goals and sustainable high-performance strategies that elevate the sport both nationally and internationally. Please join us in welcoming Coach Andy. Hey, are we ready? We're ready. Are you ready, Andy?
Yeah, let's go, Ruth.
Okay, so let's
Hey,
first
David.
let's take a look at a little spotlight on some things that you've done in the past, from not only head coaching in junior college and NIA and Division I and out in California. And now you're a new director, but a lot of people didn't know you were an outstanding volleyball player at Ohio State. And I got to actually watch some of your match, the link you sent me. But here's some great action shots of you now at Spire, which you're going to tell us lots about tonight. And David's got some great questions for you. And we're excited to have you. And you've been on one of the other shows before, but you haven't been on BYOP on the Go. So we are excited to have you, Andy.
Yes, thanks, Ruth. Real quick, when I was playing, you brought up the playing days, the way the technology was, the ball would always be going this way, and then the player would follow if you were watching live streaming. So all the quality now with those highlights, it's pretty amazing. So
yeah, of how much has changed, huh? Mm-hmm. All right, David, are you ready with your questions?
I am ready.
All right.
Well, Coach Andy, it's good to have you, and I look forward to talking to you.
And it's again.
First question. So your coaching journey spans building programs from the ground up to setting records at Westcliff University. What core philosophies have remained consistent throughout your career?
The way I thought of this one, there's just some key traits I use in an overall philosophy. It comes with like an acronym GRAP, GRRAP, genuine, reverent, responsible, ambitious, and perseverant. Okay. It's part of when USA Volleyball had the CAP certification, we had to create a philosophy. So those were the words that came up to my mind. And I think anytime I've gone to an employer, there's a little bit of adaptation. For example, like you might have an organization that has a core philosophy of resilience. That would be kind of a combination of, say, perseverance and reverence. And I think just those are a lot of traits that I look for. And some of those, even as I was growing up, I mean, some of those are pretty big words. And I think a lot of it's just also that pursuit of being the student athlete first and the student first, and student athlete. So looking for those traits, but then as I talk with recruits, like I always ask them what they love the most about the game. And I think you've got to have that love to manage all of the emotions that come in and you express out. So beyond all of those, I think love is kind of a hard word to really describe, I think. So if I can get into those little bit more details, that's usually what I'm looking for. So.
Okay.
Awesome. And what inspired you to join Spire Academy? And what is your long-term vision for developing a world-class volleyball program there?
The people, the facilities, and then the day-to-day is a lot like a college coach. I think sports academies, this space is still relatively untapped market within volleyball. So that is exciting, just to try to be a part of that growth and see if I can build something. I had some success building from scratch at community college in California, and then just maintaining a youth or a young program, a youthful, I was going to say, but it is youthful with the players they have now in Westcliff, but maintaining that. So I think a little bit of a combination there. This is year 2, so it's not starting from scratch, but I think we've got to keep building some momentum and awareness. I don't want a player to not feel like they never had a chance, where they look back 10 years and like, man, I wish I would have gone all in on something or really been dedicated to something. And I think the sports academy, it's a 24/7 job, and it's a place that the players can always have access to the gym floor. And as long as I'm available, you can kind of give that one-on-one everything too. So I don't know. I think it's really unique, and it caught my attention. And ultimately too, during the interview process, I really had really great interactions with all the people on different aspects of the whole academy.
Awesome. Very cool.
So that direction is really a lot different from that, but you've coached men's and women's volleyball across multiple levels. How has this breadth of experience influenced your coaching style and your athlete development approach?
When I first thought about this, I had a different answer than I'm going right now, but I think I could say I bounce around a lot, and that might have some negative connotation too, but I think it's, we talk a lot about neurodiversity, and I'm not that well versed in it, but I think being able to offer a wide range of solutions, I think a lot of volleyball coaches would argue there's a right way to do something. But I think as I watch a lot of professional baseball, there's a lot of ways to throw a pitch and even hit a baseball. And that, I think that way, it's just seeing such a variety of levels in both genders, and even overseas, our emphasis of athleticism in America versus, I think, very much more technical. I mean, even look at the shoe sizes they talk about in Europe, where it's just so much more detailed. So I think that just leads itself to different styles of play. And then as a young, ambitious athlete is wanting more, I guess, wanting more answers, or willing to just be open-minded and try anything. I think that diversity of experiences can really hopefully provide, I guess, for an athlete.
Well, it's interesting, Andy, because you can say this for sure, and I can say it for sure. It's definitely not going to hurt you. It's only going to enhance your thinking, because it's no different than what you said. There's more than one way to hit a baseball. However, there are some basic principles that everybody starts with, and then they develop, I say, their own style. But like Jaden says, this is my style. I said, no, that's a bad habit. So, and people sometimes say they've got such a great style. But you've succeeded at Westcliff, Cerro, Costa, despite having limited resources. What key strategies have you helped you to maintain that resilience and drive to high performance in such different environments?
This is probably a plug to education and academics and everything, but I think, like, studying finance in college, you always want to have some youthfulness to what you study. And I think sometimes we all go through school and you're like, do I ever really need this? And I think I'm gonna make kind of an analogy with this, but you have things like future value or present value in finance, and these are all formulas of okay, the price is this now and the price will be that later, and how does economic activity or people, how does that change things? And where I go with that is a player might score a point, and so that's success, or there's money coming in, or that's a value of something. But if the technique isn't that great, or if they maybe had success with this blocker that's maybe a little bit shorter, like they're going up against attack of someone that's 5'7", and now all of a sudden they're playing someone that's 6'5", and they might have to understand the angle a little bit differently. So I think that way, like, just because you have the success of scoring a point or even winning a set, it's a way to create some balance where you hopefully don't get too content. You always want to kind of strive for development and improvement. And then goes the other way too. I think, like, if you're struggling, what can we do to appreciate your value and gain more to get you out of maybe that slump? So I think a lot of coaches, we use metaphors a lot. I try to do that a lot because it's a tool for communication that can create understanding. So using what I knew and trying to make some sense in my mind of how can I make this connection, and then that just keeps you going as far as the resilience.
So just your goal, as I know, because I've been around you and David's been around you a long time, is to be a coach in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I love it. I had a really great experience as a student athlete, and men's volleyball is not quite like Penn State is the only other Big Ten school besides Ohio State. But as I look back on the career and so many different experiences, a lot of positives, but that one seemed to be the most sustaining thought when you go, and I don't know, the phrase of like grass is always greener, or I think that just has been a comfort zone and level for me. But you don't get there, or you don't achieve anything at some of the levels that have the most demands without building up some type of foundation that allow you to be resilient, but then also offer and provide value to the athletes. Because I think as a coach, like, it's tough. You get talent, and like the talent just kind of does things for you as a coach sometimes.
Okay, but what is this job at Spire? What can you do there that you've not been able to do at your previous couple jobs? What is it that is an enhancement that is similar to a Big Ten job?
Okay. I think the dedication.
Question. I mean, I didn't give you that, but I want you to be this is a good question for you.
Yeah, and for anyone that has goals and ambitions, I appreciate that. I think the dedication would be my guess. I mean, like I said, it is a 24/7, like.
Okay, that's one, 24/7. What else?
I think the resources.
Resources are better because you've got a performance trainer, you got a health person, they're on campus there. I mean, people don't realize that at Spire, you go and you live there and you get trained.
Yeah.
It's just like you go on a college campus and you learn, but these aren't college players. These are high school players, So that's what's another one? So you got them on campus 24/7. They got to study, they got resources.
I think the social aspect, networking, contacting, talking with other coaches. We are relatively new, and we also probably come with a little bit of it's a sports academy. There might be some kind of natural distance like that, because we're unique relative to a lot of other high school opportunities. So I think being active and finding a way to connect with another coach through a social way of just, even if scheduling matches or just trying to find something to create that interest and have them remember Spire, and if you just have a quick conversation with them. So,
get in there because we still got a lot of questions.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
What's the website? Wait just a second. What's the website for Spire?
SpireAcademy.com.
Okay, because a lot of people don't realize that there are only a few of these in the United States. And this is an opportunity for a kid to come to camp and be coached by Coach Andy and then see what Spire is all about. Okay, David, you got your questions.
All right. Andy, your emphasis on analytics and data-driven decision-making has produced measurable success. How do you leverage technology to optimize athlete performance and team outcomes?
Practices are recorded, and then we also have them tagged, which simply, for those that might not know, it's just like every contact that occurs, we can associate that with the player that contacted it. I think this allows trends that an athlete has to be researched, because they may think one thing, and if we can see that they're kind of going in this direction as far as maybe their approach angle or their contact point when they're going to set the ball, or are they passing on the left side of their body more often than the middle? So just finding those trends, and I think it can give feedback that otherwise, if they just hear it from you, seeing it can combine and hopefully get to that aha moment for them a little bit more often.
Okay. Now, I know Ruth mentioned earlier about resources that you have more improved at Spire Academy. Did you have like tagging available at Westcliff and in your prior jobs with tagging players and film?
Yeah, we had Huddle.
Okay.
And at Cerro Coso, we did not. And I think it was a rebuilding project, and I think that it might have been down the road as we got into more of a bigger roster size, but I think I could provide a little bit more of the individual attention.
Gotcha.
And with that, wait, you got a full-time job now. Coaching. So that's very different than what you've been doing before, whether it was fundraising, whether it was this, whether it was that. So go ahead, David.
Yeah, I got you. Well, with that, you've guided youth athletes to significant progress, some advancing 2 club levels in a year. What is your methodology for teaching fundamentals and accelerating player growth?
The way I answer this when I saw it ahead of time was like serving. And I don't mean like the skill in volleyball, but just my presence in the gym, being there, my passion, just the full-time job is to serve the athlete. Rather than kind of, I guess, dictating or prescribing a regiment, I think just being responsive to an athlete, that can create a lot of challenges, because anytime you're customizing or anything that's individual feedback, the consistency can be at risk. And I think as a leader and a head coach, consistency is going to be the thing that they remember the most. If he said this one time and he said this another time, like, they all are going to talk to each other, the players. So that gets a little bit challenging to maintain that consistency while also customizing and making the athlete feel like you're serving their ambitions and their dreams and their goals and their progress. But I think in addition to that, like, if I'm not just coming with a dictated plan, I have to stay sharp and I have to continue to grow and stay passionate so that I don't get burnt out, because it's hopefully more engaging, and that way it can stay motivating. But I think having them go through the thing that stay that motivating is having them have experience those aha moments, and that's so rewarding for me in this profession, that you see that development and you see their face light up, and or you see the determination, and then they may not light up, but they may be like, it just happened. It clicked, everything worked, and however they're going to respond to that. So I think just kind of serving them and having those conversations of what their goals and where they want to be.
Okay, let me jump in here. As an AVCA top 30 and under 30 coach and Marquis Who's Who emerging leader, what insights would you share with upcoming coaches aiming to make a meaningful impact in the sport?
The word reciprocity came to mind. If you're looking for something to be meaningful, you should find what's meaningful to the athlete. So that give and take of like what is meaningful to them, because like when you serve and satisfy that, it's probably going to be meaningful to you, what you put into it. So I think that way, if you want to make an impact like that's meaningful in general, just find out what it is for your athletes. What is meaningful to them?
Yeah. All right. So, but what for our upcoming coaches aiming to make this impact in the sport, besides that, what would you tell an up and coming coach that says, Andy, I want to coach in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think understanding the level, and that's
Okay.
it's and people may have different passion levels. I mean, there may be someone that played from sports performance and did 5 days a week, and then you might have the club I was with. It was kind of the weekend warrior. You did 2 practices on Saturday and Sunday, and but if the talent or the physical abilities, if the drive and the motivation, each different aspects that somebody brings to that, because there may be someone that if it doesn't quite meet a standard of talent right now, perhaps they just have the willingness to be, hey, I'm going to serve when we need us the most, and that might be all they do for that match, but it's a spot and a role, and it gets you to that Big Ten. So I think like being grounded enough to just accept. I think when there is no higher level to go, you just have to accept some realities because it's like there's nowhere else to turn.
Okay. All right, David, you got the next one.
All right. Andy, as we conclude, could you share 2 key insights with our viewers? First, why is it so valuable for youth coaches, club directors, recreational administrators, parents, and elementary school teachers to fully utilize the resources available on our 24/7 RNN Sports Gym virtual platform?
But I always keep learning. I think I was coming from a business background, retained earnings. Like you accumulate skills and knowledge and ways of thinking of something, but that will keep it refreshed. And I think the content that can be provided will add value. And it's just a matter of like, where do I use that valuable piece of information or that method of teaching or this way of thinking.
Gotcha. And second, what motivated you to join the RNN Sports Gym website?
Well, Ruth has been a mentor of mine for a while, so she's amazingly good at like all I can think of is simplest terms, like getting things going. And I wanted to say the cliche word "go getter," but I don't like. I think it's she can, and I've heard her say this, and I see it. Like she has a really amazing job of seeing like what people have inside of them and what they can bring out that can add value to everyone. And so I think just as she adds content, which I know she will always, like that is something that you just don't know what new or even what can be something that you already kind of knew, but just refresh and remind. So, yeah.
So what you're telling me is I better keep remembering, huh?
Well, it's always the challenge. Sorry,
All right,
that's
Andy.
all
All
people
right,
that way.
looking ahead, what legacy do you hope to create at Spire Academy, and how do you envision using your platform to advance the sport of volleyball nationally and globally?
Great question. I had this. Where did I put this down? I want to make sure I'm
Oh, now come on, you
accurately
just
thinking about it. But
I'm
no,
getting
I'll go.
that out
Yeah,
of you.
I'll go off the cuff then. I
All right,
have my here. I'll just
all
throw this in. No, I think so. Part of what I've thought of this is, and this is just trying to always realize, like coaching is a very competitive business. There's a lot of amazing people, amazing minds, and just the process of coaching is really cerebral. And I viewed this as kind of like because it's newer, a construction project, and maybe I'm the electrician or I'm the carpenter, I'm some type of contractor that like, where is my piece in this whole volleyball aspect of it? Or maybe I'm just the general contractor and it's the entire, like we just go through it all. And so I think ultimately the legacy would be something where the concept of a sports academy, you've got kids that just either want more or don't even realize what they could be. They just play. And I think ultimately that's the most important part is like, there's just kids that just want to play. And keeping that sports, I think, especially now, all of everything that's coming on with monetization can create a lot of like joy that just doesn't exist anymore, can create a, excuse me, I'm saying that wrong, like can create this vacuum of joy.
Uh-huh.
And if a place like this where like everywhere you turn it's sports, and
Ah,
if I have free time I can go swimming, if I have free time I can go play basketball, even if I'm like signed up to be a volleyball player here, and just true passion for it. So I think
okay.
that sustainability and really dedicating to a match of a kid that's a good fit for this school.
Okay, so but you got to remember this. Don't have your volleyball players swimming because it decreases your vertical jump. Because when I had my friend do a master's thesis, have them jump in the pool and they can increase their jump, but no swimming. You got to remember
I
this. Andy, as we
what
are, I'm thank you for sharing your journey and insights today. But as we wrap up, could you advise aspiring coaches about finding mentors and role models to help shape their coaching approach and provide the best training and programs for their athletes?
I try to evangelize AVCA as much as I can with
Okay.
coaches not like outside of volleyball. I'm like, I don't think we understand how it's got to be, and maybe I'm biased, but the best like coaches association in any sport. And so through that, I've had a couple years of I've done that program. I did a mentorship with Ohio State, with my alumnus group and alumni group, and I think just as you seek those opportunities out now, especially all the social media, like LinkedIn probably has some type of mentoring group, or there's just even within like so the coaches community, even how I found Ruth. Somebody had advised me, hey, you should reach out to Ruth. I found her on LinkedIn, sent a message, and I sent a message. I think first time we contacted, I waited 2 years until I contacted you again, because I known of your like excellence, and I thought I just want to make sure I appreciate all of that you had offered, even in that I don't know how long, half hour, 45-minute first phone call. And so I think just being open minded, and then finding or seeing like what is it that interests you about the person that you did talk with, or if you get connected through a program, like where are the parallels, and what do you want to I think having a focus for that mentor relationship is important. That's we had like a 3-person mentor group with AVCA, and a lot of what I wanted to get across was like scheduling, because that was
Yep.
something that I was trying to figure out. So I don't know if that answers the question.
No, that answers it. So what do you feel that there are still a lot of people that like to pay it forward, or do you think it's hard to find those people?
Oh, no, I think it exists. I don't know. I think cashless societies, and even probably, and I like, there's a different, it probably goes on both ends, and this might sound, I think the concept of money, like if we can get to a point where we just don't worry about money, which is probably maybe never going to exist because it's what makes the
Wait,
world go around.
don't ever say never. It might. Okay, so
Yeah.
you got to summarize this because we only have a few minutes left.
Yeah. So like the pay it forward then becomes your acts of good service versus like, or like I'm at McDonald's and I pay for the next 10 people in front of me. I think if you get to a point where like whatever the monetary transactions that are happening, it's more of just like your normal activity, like you did push-ups today, or you did it's a weird concept because that's not how we viewed money, but I think financially it certainly is the way all like Amazon, you can find a deal on something, you might overpay or something. It's just then it becomes more just what your activity is versus like how much of a money or something like that.
All right. So, boy, oh boy, we're going to have to bring you back. So, but a special thank you to our co-host David and to the 45 GoKids youth sports skills trainers who continue to make a difference and the lasting impact of the sport of youth sports and their dedication and passion for helping shape the next generation, one athlete at a time. If you know someone teaching ages 10 and under, send them our way to 24/7 virtual gym, www.rnnsportsgym.com. They can explore a wide range of educational videos And by becoming a member, gain access to our exclusive RNN Sports Gym private Facebook. So don't forget to like, share our public page on Facebook, Instagram, and X with friends, teachers, kids, and youth coaches. Our innovative approach to teaching kids 10 and under is something special. Don't miss our monthly chat box Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, available pre-recorded on our private RNN Sports Gym. We look forward to seeing you June 11th for our next show in the Know series with a surprise guest. And Andy, we loved it. We were so excited about your new job, and we wish you the very best to have an unbelievable number of athletes at your summer clinic. And we look forward to having you back on to tell us what you're doing in the next, after camp's over, or maybe even during camp, we'll have to do one of our calls.
Live call-in or something.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we can talk to some of your athletes. That would be
Sure.
great. David?
Yeah.
You have anything, David, you want to summarize here for our viewers?
Yeah, no, Andy, it's great to see that you are now at Spire, and I love seeing how you've progressed in your career, and I wish you all the best, and I'm excited to see what you accomplished in this next endeavor. It's really exciting to see how you're doing.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm eager to catch up with you as well. And any last parting words, I'll say, any Buckeyes out there, OH.
Oh, those Buckeyes. All right.